I hang the painting above the bed.
I hang the painting above the bed.
The painting is above the bed.
The painting is above the bed.
The dog is behind the tree.
The dog is behind the tree.
I walk the dog behind the tree.
I walk the dog behind the tree.
The book is next to the lamp.
The book is next to the lamp.
I put the book next to the lamp.
I put the book next to the lamp.
I stand in front of the window.
I stand in front of the window.
I drive through the tunnel.
I drive through the tunnel.
The table is by the door.
The table is by the door.
I sit by the table.
I sit by the table.
I go to the cinema.
I go to the cinema.
I come from the market.
I come from the market.
I dance with my sister.
I dance with my sister.
I wait for the teacher.
I wait for the teacher.
The movie starts at 8 o'clock.
The movie starts at 8 o'clock.
I read after lunch.
I read after lunch.
The plate is on the counter.
The plate is on the counter.
I put the plate on the counter.
I put the plate on the counter.
The apple is in the basket.
The apple is in the basket.
I put the apple in the basket.
I put the apple in the basket.
The toy is under the sofa.
The toy is under the sofa.
I look under the sofa.
I look under the sofa.
The kite is above the park.
The kite is above the park.
I fly the kite above the park.
I fly the kite above the park.
The cat is behind the curtain.
The cat is behind the curtain.
I look behind the curtain.
I look behind the curtain.
The chair is next to the door.
The chair is next to the door.
I moved the chair next to the door.
I move the chair next to the door.
The dog is in front of the house.
The dog is in front of the house.
I stand in front of the house.
I stand in front of the house.
I walk through the room.
I walk through the room.
The sofa is by the wall.
The sofa is by the wall.
I sit by the sofa.
I sit by the sofa.
I go to the beach.
I go to the beach.
I come from the mountains.
I come from the mountains.
I sing with my brother.
I sing with my brother.
I wait for the doctor.
I wait for the doctor.
The lesson is at 10 o'clock.
The lesson is at 10 o'clock.
I study after class.
I study after class.
The glass is on the table.
The glass is on the table.
I put the glass on the table.
I put the glass on the table.
The hat is in the closet.
The hat is in the closet.
I put the hat in the closet.
I put the hat in the closet.
The ball is under the tree.
The ball is under the tree.
I kick the ball under the tree.
I kick the ball under the tree.
The poster is above the desk.
The poster is above the desk.
I hang the poster above the desk.
I hang the poster above the desk.
The car is behind the building.
The car is behind the building.
I park the car behind the building.
I park the car behind the building.
The chair is in front of the window.
The chair is in front of the window.
I walk through the street.
I walk through the street.
The bed is by the wall.
The bed is by the wall.
I lie by the bed.
I lie by the bed.
I go to the zoo.
I go to the zoo.
I come from the river.
I come from the river.
I laugh with my friends.
I laugh with my friends.
I wait for my parents.
I wait for my parents.
The shop opens at 9 o'clock.
The shop opens at 9 o'clock.
I relax after school.
I relax after school.
The book is on the chair.
The book is on the chair.
I put the book on the chair.
I put the book on the chair.
The pencil is in the cup.
The pencil is in the cup.
I put the pencil in the cup.
I put the pencil in the cup.
The blanket is under the bed.
The blanket is under the bed.
I look under the bed for the shoe.
I look under the bed for the shoe.
The balloon is above the garden.
The balloon is above the garden.
I let the balloon fly above the garden.
I let the balloon fly above the garden.
The flowers are on the windowsill.
The flowers are on the windowsill.
I put the flowers on the windowsill.
I put the flowers on the windowsill.
The notebook is in the backpack.
The notebook is in the backpack.
I put the notebook in the backpack.
I put the notebook in the backpack.
The cat is under the blanket.
The cat is under the blanket.
I look under the blanket.
I look under the blanket.
The shelf is above the couch.
The shelf is above the couch.
I hang the shelf above the couch.
I hang the shelf above the couch.
The bicycle is behind the shed.
The bicycle is behind the shed.
I ride the bicycle behind the shed.
I ride the bicycle behind the shed.
The clock is next to the mirror.
The clock is next to the mirror.
I put the clock next to the mirror.
I put the clock next to the mirror.
The dog is in front of the gate.
The dog is in front of the gate.
I stand in front of the gate.
I stand in front of the gate.
I walk through the market.
I walk through the market.
The chair is by the fireplace.
The chair is by the fireplace.
I sit by the fireplace.
I sit by the fireplace.
I go to the museum.
I go to the museum.
I come from the forest.
I come from the forest.
I draw with my pencil.
I draw with my pencil.
The book is on the table.
The book is on the table.
I put the book on the table.
I put the book on the table.
The cat is in the box.
The cat is in the box.
I put the cat in the box.
I put the cat in the box.
The dog is under the bed.
The dog is under the bed.
I look under the bed.
I look under the bed.
The picture is above the sofa.
The picture is above the sofa.
I hang the picture above the sofa.
I hang the picture above the sofa.
The ball is behind the chair.
The ball is behind the chair.
I kick the ball behind the chair.
I kick the ball behind the chair.
The lamp is next to the table.
The lamp is next to the table.
I place the lamp next to the table.
I place the lamp next to the table.
The child is in front of the TV.
The child is in front of the TV.
I stand in front of the TV.
I stand in front of the TV.
I walk through the park.
I walk through the park.
The window is by the door.
The window is by the door.
I sit by the window.
I sit by the window.
I go to the store.
I go to the store.
I come from the school.
I come from the school.
I play with my friend.
I play with my friend.
I wait for the bus.
I wait for the bus.
The meeting is at 5 o'clock.
The meeting is at 5 o'clock.
I travel after school.
I travel after school.
The bag is on the floor.
The bag is on the floor.
I drop the bag on the floor.
I drop the bag on the floor.
The keys are in the bag.
The keys are in the bag.
I put the keys in the bag.
I put the keys in the bag.
The chair is under the window.
The chair is under the window.
I crawl under the window.
I crawl under the window.
The bird flies above the house.
The bird flies above the house.
I throw the ball above the house.
I throw the ball above the house.
The car is behind the garage.
The car is behind the garage.
I drive the car behind the garage.
I drive the car behind the garage.
The table is next to the sofa.
The table is next to the sofa.
I move the table next to the sofa.
I move the table next to the sofa.
I stand in front of the bed.
I stand in front of the bed.
I run through the garden.
I run through the garden.
The chair is by the wall.
The chair is by the wall.
I go to the park.
I go to the park.
I come from the city.
I come from the city.
I talk with my teacher.
I talk with my teacher.
I wait for my friend.
I wait for my friend.
The class is at 9 o'clock.
The class is at 9 o'clock.
I eat after work.
I eat after work.
The phone is on the desk.
The phone is on the desk.
I place the phone on the desk.
I place the phone on the desk.
The pen is in the drawer.
The pen is in the drawer.
I put the pen in the drawer.
I put the pen in the drawer.
The rug is under the table.
The rug is under the table.
I look under the table.
I look under the table.
The clock is above the door.
The clock is above the door.
I hang the clock above the door.
I hang the clock above the door.
The bike is behind the house.
The bike is behind the house.
I ride the bike behind the house.
I ride the bike behind the house.
The plant is next to the window.
The plant is next to the window.
I put the plant next to the window.
I put the plant next to the window.
The TV is in front of the sofa.
The TV is in front of the sofa.
I sit in front of the TV.
I sit in front of the TV.
I walk through the forest.
I walk through the forest.
The lamp is by the bed.
The lamp is by the bed.
I stand by the lamp.
I stand by the lamp.
I go to the library.
I go to the library.
I come from the village.
I come from the village.
I eat with my family.
I eat with my family.
I wait for the train.
I wait for the train.
The party is at 7 o'clock.
The party is at 7 o'clock.
I sleep after dinner.
I sleep after dinner.
The cup is on the shelf.
The cup is on the shelf.
I put the cup on the shelf.
I put the cup on the shelf.
The money is in the wallet.
The money is in the wallet.
I put the money in the wallet.
I put the money in the wallet.
The shoe is under the chair.
The shoe is under the chair.
I draw with my pencil.
I draw with my pencil.
I come from the forest.
I come from the forest.
I go to the museum.
I go to the museum.
I sit by the fireplace.
I sit by the fireplace.
The chair is by the fireplace.
The chair is by the fireplace.
I walk through the market.
I walk through the market.
I stand in front of the gate.
I stand in front of the gate.
The dog is in front of the gate.
The dog is in front of the gate.
I put the clock next to the mirror.
I put the clock next to the mirror.
The clock is next to the mirror.
The clock is next to the mirror.
I ride the bicycle behind the shed.
I ride the bicycle behind the shed.
The bicycle is behind the shed.
The bicycle is behind the shed.
I hang the shelf above the couch.
I hang the shelf above the couch.
The shelf is above the couch.
The shelf is above the couch.
I look under the blanket.
I look under the blanket.
The cat is under the blanket.
The cat is under the blanket.
I put the notebook in the backpack.
I put the notebook in the backpack.
The notebook is in the backpack.
The notebook is in the backpack.
I put the flowers on the windowsill.
I put the flowers on the windowsill.
The flowers are on the windowsill.
The flowers are on the windowsill.
I let the balloon fly above the garden.
I let the balloon fly above the garden.
The balloon is above the garden.
The balloon is above the garden.
I look under the bed for the shoe.
I look under the bed for the shoe.
The blanket is under the bed.
The blanket is under the bed.
I put the pencil in the cup.
I put the pencil in the cup.
The pencil is in the cup.
The pencil is in the cup.
I put the book on the chair.
I put the book on the chair.
The book is on the chair.
The book is on the chair.
I relax after school.
I relax after school.
The shop opens at 9 o'clock.
The shop opens at 9 o'clock.
I wait for my parents.
I wait for my parents.
I laugh with my friends.
I laugh with my friends.
I come from the river.
I come from the river.
I go to the zoo.
I go to the zoo.
I lie by the bed.
I lie by the bed.
The bed is by the wall.
The bed is by the wall.
I walk through the street.
I walk through the street.
The chair is in front of the window.
The chair is in front of the window.
I park the car behind the building.
I park the car behind the building.
The car is behind the building.
The car is behind the building.
I hang the poster above the desk.
I hang the poster above the desk.
The poster is above the desk.
The poster is above the desk.
I kick the ball under the tree.
I kick the ball under the tree.
The ball is under the tree.
The ball is under the tree.
I put the hat in the closet.
I put the hat in the closet.
The hat is in the closet.
The hat is in the closet.
I put the glass on the table.
I put the glass on the table.
The glass is on the table.
The glass is on the table.
I study after class.
I study after class.
The lesson is at 10 o'clock.
The lesson is at 10 o'clock.
I wait for the doctor.
I wait for the doctor.
I sing with my brother.
I sing with my brother.
I come from the mountains.
I come from the mountains.
I go to the beach.
I go to the beach.
I sit by the sofa.
I sit by the sofa.
The sofa is by the wall.
The sofa is by the wall.
I walk through the room.
I walk through the room.
I stand in front of the house.
I stand in front of the house.
The dog is in front of the house.
The dog is in front of the house.
I move the chair next to the door.
I move the chair next to the door.
The chair is next to the door.
The chair is next to the door.
I look behind the curtain.
I look behind the curtain.
The cat is behind the curtain.
The cat is behind the curtain.
I fly the kite above the park.
I fly the kite above the park.
The kite is above the park.
The kite is above the park.
I look under the sofa.
I look under the sofa.
The toy is under the sofa.
The toy is under the sofa.
I put the apple in the basket.
I put the apple in the basket.
The apple is in the basket.
The apple is in the basket.
I put the plate on the counter.
I put the plate on the counter.
The plate is on the counter.
The plate is on the counter.
I read after lunch.
I read after lunch.
The movie starts at 8 o'clock.
The movie starts at 8 o'clock.
I wait for the teacher.
I wait for the teacher.
I dance with my sister.
I dance with my sister.
I come from the market.
I come from the market.
I go to the cinema.
I go to the cinema.
I sit by the table.
I sit by the table.
The table is by the door.
The table is by the door.
I drive through the tunnel.
I drive through the tunnel.
I stand in front of the window.
I stand in front of the window.
I put the book next to the lamp.
I put the book next to the lamp.
The book is next to the lamp.
The book is next to the lamp.
I walk the dog behind the tree.
I walk the dog behind the tree.
The dog is behind the tree.
The dog is behind the tree.
I hang the painting above the bed.
I hang the painting above the bed.
The painting is above the bed.
The painting is above the bed.
The shoe is under the chair.
The shoe is under the chair.
I put the money in the wallet.
I put the money in the wallet.
The money is in the wallet.
The money is in the wallet.
I put the cup on the shelf.
I put the cup on the shelf.
The cup is on the shelf.
The cup is on the shelf.
I sleep after dinner.
I sleep after dinner.
The party is at 7 o'clock.
The party is at 7 o'clock.
I wait for the train.
I wait for the train.
I eat with my family.
I eat with my family.
I come from the village.
I come from the village.
I go to the library.
I go to the library.
I stand by the lamp.
I stand by the lamp.
The lamp is by the bed.
The lamp is by the bed.
I walk through the forest.
I walk through the forest.
I sit in front of the TV.
I sit in front of the TV.
The TV is in front of the sofa.
The TV is in front of the sofa.
I put the plant next to the window.
I put the plant next to the window.
The plant is next to the window.
The plant is next to the window.
I ride the bike behind the house.
I ride the bike behind the house.
The bike is behind the house.
The bike is behind the house.
I hang the clock above the door.
I hang the clock above the door.
The clock is above the door.
The clock is above the door.
I look under the table.
I look under the table.
The rug is under the table.
The rug is under the table.
I put the pen in the drawer.
I put the pen in the drawer.
The pen is in the drawer.
The pen is in the drawer.
I place the phone on the desk.
I place the phone on the desk.
The phone is on the desk.
The phone is on the desk.
I eat after work.
I eat after work.
The class is at 9 o'clock.
The class is at 9 o'clock.
I wait for my friend.
I wait for my friend.
I talk with my teacher.
I talk with my teacher.
I come from the city.
I come from the city.
I go to the park.
I go to the park.
The chair is by the wall.
The chair is by the wall.
I run through the garden.
I run through the garden.
I stand in front of the bed.
I stand in front of the bed.
I moved the table next to the sofa.
I move the table next to the sofa.
The table is next to the sofa.
The table is next to the sofa.
I drive the car behind the garage.
I drive the car behind the garage.
The car is behind the garage.
The car is behind the garage.
I throw the ball above the house.
I throw the ball above the house.
The bird flies above the house.
The bird flies above the house.
I crawl under the window.
I crawl under the window.
The chair is under the window.
The chair is under the window.
I put the keys in the bag.
I put the keys in the bag.
The keys are in the bag.
The keys are in the bag.
I drop the bag on the floor.
I drop the bag on the floor.
The bag is on the floor.
The bag is on the floor.
I travel after school.
I travel after school.
The meeting is at 5 o'clock.
The meeting is at 5 o'clock.
I wait for the bus.
I wait for the bus.
I play with my friend.
I play with my friend.
I come from the school.
I come from the school.
I go to the store.
I go to the store.
I sit by the window.
I sit by the window.
The window is by the door.
The window is by the door.
I walk through the park.
I walk through the park.
I stand in front of the TV.
I stand in front of the TV.
The child is in front of the TV.
The child is in front of the TV.
I place the lamp next to the table.
I place the lamp next to the table.
The lamp is next to the table.
The lamp is next to the table.
I kick the ball behind the chair.
I kick the ball behind the chair.
The ball is behind the chair.
The ball is behind the chair.
I hang the picture above the sofa.
I hang the picture above the sofa.
The picture is above the sofa.
The picture is above the sofa.
I look under the bed.
I look under the bed.
The dog is under the bed.
The dog is under the bed.
I put the cat in the box.
I put the cat in the box.
The cat is in the box.
The cat is in the box.
I put the book on the table.
I put the book on the table.
The book is on the table.
The book is on the table.